Welcome back to As a Reincarnated Aristocrat anime review, episode number 3. Well, basically, I'm reviewing episodes 5 and 6 of As a Reincarnated Aristocrat. I use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Yes, so in episode number 5, we jump ahead 2 years. Actually, it's more like 3 years later, where ours is now 9 years old. Which means that Rias, he is like, because when we first started, he was 14. Now he's like, well, given the fact that about 6 years passed by since they first met in the first episode, he is now at the age of 20. Yep, he is 20 years old. So Raven is now ill, and while he's there, basically trying to recover, he tells Ars, "Hey, my boy, you got yourself a fiance." What? No, they've heard of betrothed here. Basically, it's fiance. Yeah, he's engaged. He doesn't remember when he made it, but yeah, that's kind of true of the book. Basically him and, well, his fiance's father. Oh, doesn't tell her name per se until she shows up. So then he tells his retainers and his siblings about the fact he's got a fiance. He's got twin siblings, boy and girl. They were introduced in, I believe it was episode number 4. I believe it was. Like, just the previous episode they were introduced. Charlotte thinks, oh, I thought you basically hired me so I could be your fiance. No. So, then we're introduced to the fiance. Her name is Lucia Prittle. Prittle, I think her name is. We first see her when she's looking outside at the weather, like, oh, look at, like, oh, it's raining. And then she's shown around the mansion. Of course, she sees, well, she's like, and of course, basically I think it's her butler, basically is like shocked at the fact, oh, it's a Milliken, like, oh crap. And the CEO's like, no, that's Rias. He's like, he's got a reputation. Like, okay. So then, of course, well, Charlotte and Rustel basically follow them around the whole episode. Like, they have a lunch, and they go around the town. Like, oh, I thought it was showing the time. Like, no, it's gonna stop raining. And they show around town, and there's a dispute. And of course, they show around town. They of course also dispute over this magnetite. And this is where she gets introduced to Charlotte. For it's like, oh, you're Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. Can I shake your hand? Yes. And settles the dispute because, of course, Arj uses his appraisal skill on her, and he's very good at diplomacy. And of course, oh yeah, it was actually Arj's idea for this. So the part of the negotiation is that she would buy the sound magnetite in exchange for them basically buying some magnetite from a volcano in their domain. I'm thinking a volcano. Yes, a volcano. They're showing around. Also, they mentioned in the next episode that he had given her some seeds. Now, there's also the night, basically, he goes to bed, and Lucia's in his bed. And you might be curious, do they do adult stuff? No, they don't. She's roughly 10 years old, and he's only 9. They just talk and have some tea. She admits her feelings for him. And I believe in the book that she mentioned that she was actually going to just to see how he is and call it the engagement. But she fell madly in love with him. You see, he explains her his ability to her, and she believes him because she has a very similar ability. Now, he basically reads, he prays people's skills. She of course reads emotions. So it's a good thing they're a perfect match for each other. And of course, basically they decided to write each other. And next episode we see them write each other. Then next episode they jump ahead 2 years. Yes, 2 years to where Raven's illness has gotten worse. So now ours is now 11 years old. Yes, 11. And guess what also happens here? Well, there was also disputes about of course, the governor feeling ill, and like apparently the younger son was named successor, and the older son is accusing him of forging the will. And of course, it's a look like a bear conflict. And then the governor is assassinated. So basically, Raven is summoned to, well, him and 2 other two hundred nobles basically commit to force disappointing the elder son. And of course, well, Raven's ill, so Ars goes in his place and takes basically Charlotte and Riteas with him, which that proved to be a smart idea. Of course, well, the guard who sees like, oh, they changed the gem, but I don't believe. And of course, oh crap, it's Charlotte, the flame of flames. And of course, they always like Reaper of the Lover. I think it was quite funny. And he's like, I don't like the nickname, but it fits. And of course, well, they were introduced to this. Of course, they're meeting up with the headsman of the area, the one who basically all these lords report to, where he meets like a retainer, like, oh, he's very powerful. And apparently there's two nobles in this room. One on the right is somebody he knew, apparently was a little bit younger. And by cooking, then of course you have this other lord who's very grumpy. This actually is Lucille's father. And they were introduced to the headman. The headman of the area mentions that they're basically siding with the older son, which Ars points out in his thoughts, like, yeah, his father kind of suspected that. So basically, well, he was running the money there. So, prepare your troops, we're going to war. And, well, and then Hammond introduced himself to him, where doesn't mention the fact he took very care of his daughter when she was showing him around. That's cut out here for some reason, but he does mention he's very sad because he's not been responding to her lately. Well, he has a good reason. War cut up, and the fact his father fell ill. But he'll write her as soon as he gets home. Which, of course, basically, he also makes a promise to make her happy, which the father says, be sure you tell her that. And then he writes her, and of course, they practice basically swordplay. Well, based on his skills, they even have a mock battle, which proved to be a disaster. So, then it's decided, like, oh yeah, they can finish the war. Ars thinks he's going to lead the battle. Then Raven just is dressing in form. He's like, Ars person, you're no condition to lead the battle. And he's like, you're a kid. So, if you can hold your composure, I'll allow you to lead the battle. So, his test is to witness an execution. What type of execution? A beheading. Basically, it's a bit of an old-fashioned one. Now, the UK is nowhere. I don't know if any country uses particularly this execution, but I know the UK uses it because I see pictures of it. Basically, this beheading is not like a guillotine where it's like, oh, put a thing and just slide down. No, this is basically a big axe, and they chop this man. Now, this man is a murderer, thief, and rapist. Yeah, he deserved to die. So he dies, and of course, Ars vomits the first time he sees that, and it's like, well, I had the same reaction too. And because he couldn't keep his composure, and of course, he can't lead the battle, so the other three just happily join along, and that ends the episode. Yeah. Still two really good episodes. Thoroughly enjoying this one. I have roughly about 6 more left to go, and then that'll be it. So that's pretty much it, particular few. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do hit the like button. Next up, basically, I have a comic corner, and then I'll call it a night. And I'm up a little late because I also have tomorrow off. Yep. I got back work Friday. Okay? Next video. Bye.